This episode of the Totally Rad Show is brought to you by Carbonite. It seemed nearly impossible to bring this ambitious novel to the big screen. Today, we check out Life of Pi.
Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad, Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad, Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad, Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad Show.
Today in movies, we are talking about Life of Pi, based on the book by Yann Martel. It comes out in theaters this Wednesday, the 21st. This coming
Pie
Wednesday,
for
the 21st.
Thanksgiving?
That's right.
Classic.
Life
Classic.
for Thanksgiving.
It is definitely a holiday movie, and they are all coming out right around now. And it is about a young Indian boy who survives a shipwreck through a lifeboat. Also,
The ship doesn't wreck through the lifeboat.
no, but he survives it via the lifeboat that is also inhabited by some other animals, most notably an adult Bengal tiger.
Yeah, they're transporting a zoo
Right.
on the boat as well. So,
Right,
yeah.
right.
Makes a lot more sense.
They could have seen the spoiler.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler.
Right.
So
Directed
there's a
by,
big mystery. How the animals
How
ended
did it
up.
get there?
Is that a big mystery?
Yeah.
Directed by Ang Lee.
So directed by Academy Award winning Ang Lee, who
Very familiar with tigers, be they crouching or hidden.
yes. No, I just was thinking that, I mean, he's got to be one of the most varied, the range of his work is astounding, knocking it out of the park in every genre, every kind of movie, you never
Except
know.
for superhero.
That's
one of the low points.
Yeah. But anyway, shot in 3D, same DP as Avatar's 3D. What I'm saying is Avatar, landmark 3D movie. Here we go again, 3D movie. My question to you, is it landmark? Is it just another thing? You will talk about that in your review.
Don't tell me what I'm going to talk about.
Jeff, you read the book.
I did. In fact,
This is an unfilmable book.
Yeah.
Quote unquote.
Oh, easily.
So-
And for a lot of reasons, not even chiefly among them being the tiger on the boat.
Right.
There's a lot of reasons why it's unfilmable. And it was the year that I read this book, it was like I read Life of Pi, Amazing Adventures of Cavalier and Clay, and The Time Traveler's Wife, all back to back. It was like this amazing summer. I read these three amazing books. And I loved Life of Pi so much that I bought it for my mom and my sister and was like, you have to read this. It's incredible. It's one of those books that just sang for me and really touched me in a profound way. And I'm happy to report that the film is everything you could hope for. It is extremely faithful to the book, amazingly faithful to the book. It retains all the magic and poetry of the book and even expands on that in the visual realm. This movie is sort of a combination between a survival story and Fantasia. You know, it is incredibly magical experience. The performances are wonderful across the board, but it takes what is a metaphor, what is a religious kind of experience of reading this book, and translates that, abstracts it enough, and makes something beautiful visually out of it that even adds another layer of feeling and emotion. I think this is going to and should win every technical Academy Award, from special effects to cinematography to sound design. It is a audio-visuals feast in the same way that Fantasia is, and it is a transportive experience. It sells the idea better than you could possibly imagine. I mean, I kept sitting there thinking, it wasn't that long ago that Jurassic Park came out. You know, like, here we have, I didn't know when we were in Digital Tiger and when we weren't in Digital Tiger. I never felt like there wasn't a connection between the actor and the animals. The acting of the animal is extraordinary. That this, I would assume, mostly digital creation evokes that kind of emotion. You feel for it. I never once felt like it wasn't really there. And And yet the movie just has these flights of fancy also into whimsical, magical, abstract places that never jar me. It is a special experience, and the fact that they didn't lose the bookends from the book that really contextualize it, and there's really nothing missing from this wonderful reading experience in the film. It's one of the best movies I've seen all year. It's something that I hope a lot of people go see. I was weeping at the end. It is wonderful. Wonderful.
Mr. Albrecht.
Yes, sir. Did not read the book.
You didn't read the book.
Did not have my pre-pie snack.
We call that dinner.
Dinner. I think this. It's funny that we have this right on the heels of Skyfall, a movie that I felt that almost that strongly about, and that you were sort of about, because I was sort of about this movie.
Wow, I'm sad to hear that.
It was gorgeous. There were a couple. It was gorgeous. I had a couple of my classic Alex digital moments where I was like, that doesn't look that good. But the visuals were stunning. And I did have a couple moments of like, there's CG tiger. I think the tiger is probably entirely CG.
There's some real tiger.
Oh, there is? Okay.
But
okay, interesting.
I think for all intents and purposes.
No, I know, but I mean,
every time you're like seeing a performance out of a tiger, it's pretty much gonna be CG. But there were some real tigers.
No, I know, but I mean, that was the thing, was that I was sort of like, I would oscillate between like, that's probably real tiger, or that's definitely CG tiger. You know what I mean? Like, that was definitely happening to me. And as somebody who didn't read the book, it is a very moving story about one singular character and that character's journey, which was nice. There was a lot of the pre-stuff that I was just sort of like, we'll get to the, you know what I mean? Like, I thought it was going to be more on, you know what I mean?
Get to the ship, Titanic, get to the ship.
Yeah.
That shipwreck, by the way.
Shipwreck was
Has there
great.
ever been a more spectacular?
Yes, Titanic.
No, I think it out Titanic's Titanic for sure.
Yeah,
I was being coy, but-
yeah, but the visual, and again, there are moments in this that are visually arresting and stunning and amazing, and I think, and I agree with you, the performances all around. I had a hard time figuring out what I was supposed to. I believed, and I'm wondering if maybe this landed more with you because you had read the book and you had all this background, because it starts out by saying, I'm going to tell you a story that will make you believe in God. Mm-hmm. And I think that it doesn't live up to that at all. And at the end, towards the end, I was sort of going, well, how is this going to loop in? Because what he says at the beginning makes me very interested to hear the story. And I'm wondering if they were able to get to allow that to land through the book, because there's so much more in a book than it was here. Because for me, it didn't really end with that. And to be honest, it kind of ended with this, what am I supposed to take out of this that what did I just hear? What did I just see? What was the journey that I just had? Did it happen? Did it not happen? Does it matter? Does it really matter? What really happened? Was that what really happened? You know what I mean? And it was inevitably towards the end sort of this thing of, I think, what I came out of it was sort of like, I don't know what I just saw. It was pretty, and it was an engaging story, and it was emotional at times. I mean, it is a very good movie. It's not a bad movie. It just was that was an experience I had.
I think it's the central question is, what is the decision to believe in God about? And I think that is what's contextualized at the end. And I don't want to spoil anything, but the saying, here's a story that's going to make you believe in God, is a magic trick. And what the magic trick, the reveal is, I'm really telling you about the decision to believe in God.
Careful. I feel like you're already... Beautiful statement, but be careful, everyone. So I'll be careful here.
Well,
I'm already a little bit scared, queasy.
Well, so there's a lot. So it was a very well-told good story that I just inevitably went, that happened, but that it wasn't. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I was moved. I mean, as I said, it's so hard reviewing movies like this, because what I'm trying to get across is that it was a very good movie that I enjoyed watching, but that I'm not in Jeff's best movie of all time or best movie this year or any of that camp. But that doesn't mean that I think it was a bad movie or that it wasn't enjoyable. It's such a hard balance to make. You know what I mean?
I think you've been clear.
Yeah.
And I also want to say that I'm so pleased that the decision was made to shoot this in 3D, which is such a strange thing to say.
And the 3D was gorgeous.
The 3D is spectacular and additive.
Yeah.
And it's not always the case. Go ahead.
What did you guys think of? Let me just say a couple things. I'm just gonna say stuff. One, I love this movie immensely. It's one of the best movies of the year. Not only that, it's one of the best movies ever made, and it's a classic. This is a movie that 20 years from now, it doesn't, like, this could have been made 20 years ago, except for, that's a weird thing
all
to
the
say.
technical stuff, yeah.
Like, but at the same time,
You would have seen the plexiglass between the tiger and the kid.
yeah, right. But it's such a timeless story that it doesn't feel, the spectacle moments don't feel like just for spectacle's sake. And that's what's interesting. What I think is interesting about the Cloud Atlas, that this time of year, what we're getting, as opposed to last year or the years before, is the best movies of the year were No Country for Old Men, There Will Be Blood. Those are the kinds of movies that are Academy. I think this is easily going to be nominated for Best Picture, as will I think Cloud Atlas, things like that. And it's like these are spectacle movies as well as intellectual, thought-provoking movies. It's interesting that we're getting these two this year, and I think there's some others that I'm forgetting.
This movie reminded me a lot.
The Hobbit is going to be up there, I think.
This movie reminded me a lot of Black Beauty.
Yes.
Essentially the exact same story.
Yes, interesting.
You know what I mean?
So classic, the 3D is amazing, and this is a reason for 3D to exist. It's a show. If someone doesn't like 3D movies, you show them this movie, and oh my God,
you can show them the crash sequence in this movie to show off any TV.
You've never seen anything like this movie.
But
You've
let
never
me
seen anything like it.
Hands down. But let me ask you guys what you thought of what I thought was spectacular was the format changes, the aspect ratio changes, which really goes hand in with the 3D.
I didn't even notice them.
Well, there was a sequence where it's more letterboxed, let's say, so that the 3D elements, it's when the fish, you can even see in the trailer,
The flying
where the
fish.
flying fish are going through the letterbox. So it looks like it's
crazy.
going through the TV screen.
Yeah.
And then there's a moment where it goes completely vertical.
Yeah.
It goes like 1 through 3, and it's like a Chinese landscape painting.
The first
didn't notice
time
that.
it happened with the flying fish moment, I thought, oh right, I remember them shooting this sequence first as a proof of concept, and I thought, oh, they just plugged in this old footage that they shot.
Interesting.
But then you're right, it happens again, and I was like, oh, well, maybe there's more purpose to it. But yeah, it's an amazing moment. I kind of did a double take of like the whole screen goes like this, and then a fish comes from below, and I was like, what's even happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is the mind that brings this to the screen is working. I can't reiterate enough that it is not like anything you have ever seen. And experiencing the shipwreck, experiencing being on the boat with him, there's been a lot of movies that have tried to express that feeling, but none of them do it like this movie does it. It is a different, how the camera moves, where the cuts aren't, like how shots transition to each other, where the camera takes you. It is incredible and one of the most amazing accomplishments of filmmaking that I in recent memory. It's quite something.
Mincemeat pie. Pie for Thanksgiving.
The Life of Pi. I think it's definitely like Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's such a Christmas movie. It's such a everyone with your family gets some
Life
Chinese food.
affirming
If you're
and-
Jewish, get some Chinese food and you go see Life of Pi.
We do Chinese
and they
food
argue about God.
on Christmas Eve.
Welcome.
Namaste.
Welcome to the tribe.
Namaste.
Namaste.
All right, everybody, be sure to stick around for our outtakes from this week's taping. But first, we want to thank our sponsor, Carbonite.com. Come on, people. Seriously, how much do I have to say this?
A lot.
Carbonite online backup is automatic. Cloud backup for the computer files at your home office or small business. Easy, easy, breezy. Just set it up once. Carbonite will protect your computer files so that you can stay focused on running your business. You also don't have to buy any hardware for it. Your hardware already exists. It's called a computer. With Carbonite, getting your lost backup files are also super simple. Your employees can even access their backed up files on their smartphones or iPad with the free Carbonite app. Really? Just do this. Carbonite is the better backup plan for your home office or small business. Also, maybe just your house. Start your free trial at Carbonite.com with the offer code TRS today, and you'll get 2 free bonus months if you decide
As
to
we
buy.
call them, free bumos.
Free bumos. So that's Carbonite.com. The offer code for 2 free bumos is TRS. Now you can shift into punching mode.
Punching mode.
Do you guys remember the name of the guy, Bradley Smearbit?
None of those, I don't think.
It's not that. It's
I don't think it's any of them.
Blake.
Blake Gentry.
Genry. So close.
Gentry.
Gentry.
As-
Gentry.
Like how I want you to touch my butt, Gentry.
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 Don't put your finger in your Gentry.
Just put it Gentry.
All right, here we go. What was it again? Blake Gentry?
Yep.
Yep. Here we go. Assassin's Creed 3.
Not pronounced like that, but you know.
In my household.
Very exciting. Tomorrow what are we doing tomorrow? I lost it from my brain hole. What are we doing tomorrow,
Anybody?
guys?
I'm pretty sure Wednesday's Kickstarter. I'm not sure.
But that's not what we're asking. We'll start again. We'll start again. What is Tuesday? Darren Brown's Apocalypse. All right, here we go.
Sure,
You
what's
usually
the
say
Thursday
me.
Kickstarter?
No, that's right.
Yeah.
No.
That's right, and then
Wednesday.
Friday's
No,
and then
Wednesday's
Thursday
Kickstarter.
is,
Wednesday's Kickstarter.
Thursday's versus. Yeah.
Here we go. Let's start that again.
Some other animals, notably a adult Bengal tiger. It's shot in 3D. Yeah.
Go on. Shot in 3D.
Yeah.
What happened?
Let me just do it again. I don't know.
What happened?
I just figured.
You
Lost
just went to
track.
bed? You were like,
I
I'm
just
at lunch.
lost track.
I'm at lunch. Lunch.
I mean, there's
Let's
so
call
many
it lunch.
other things to say, and I was like,
Which
say it or
one?
not
And-
say it
yeah.
or whatever. So
right.
here we go again.
Here we go.
I guess that was basically. Oh, I didn't even say it's Ang Lee, right? Okay,
Yeah,
here we
okay.
go.
There's a lot of-
That's what I.
You
was
fucked
like,
up.
All right. Assassin's Creed. That's pretty funny. I'm gonna start again. Assassin's Creed Cree is here.
Assassin's Creed Cree. Assassin's Creed Cree is here. And the Assassin's Creed Steed is back.
This a day, today day.
Hiya. Now, sir.
Blah.
Wow.
Yeah.
More specific, Jeff.
Whoa!
Yo!